What's up, you guys? Soseztheleadr here. I'm back with another excerpt reading installment from my book series, Princess Luan and Wizard Hadaria. This will come from my Fellowship of Light Dragon Warrior subseries. It's called Elise's Quest. I hope you enjoy the excerpts I read. And this book is like every other book. This book is available on Amazon, so feel free to follow the links in the description if you want to check it out. Let's begin. This is the beginning chapter of the series. It reveals a mysterious creature called the Dark Stalker and her exploits in London, England. Let's read. Concealed in the shadow of night, the creature stood, perched on the golden minaret that marked the center of the landmark that was the Tower of London. "Double the guard at the gates," it heard a gruff, accented voice tell no one in particular. "I want to make sure that no one gets in or out without notice." "Yes, sir!" Several other voices responded loudly. Upon hearing that command, the creature decided this is going to require some alternate tactics. It sighed. If only I didn't have to do this, but people wouldn't understand the trouble I'd gone through. With that, it leaped off the minaret and landed silently on the edge of the roof, keeping to the shadows as it tiptoed along the square bricks, seemingly with paws and on all fours. Rounding the corner, the creature with paws, whose shadowed silhouette seemed to contain a curved body to complement her long flowing hair and pointy ears, eavesdropped on two guards as they marched back and forth, meeting each other with every about face. They won't be hard to avoid, the creature thought as it lowered itself into an attack-ready position, with its upper half crouched down and its lower half reared up. Then it took one huge leap toward an open window frame, anchoring itself with sharp nails that protruded from its forepaws. After a few moments of scraping the stone window, the creature leaped into the room, which was dimly lit by lanterns at all four corners. Closing its eyes and opening them a second later, it was able to sense some energy beams within the room, crisscrossing themselves and extending toward the ceiling, as well as all four corners of the room. And I had a feeling I'd be dealing with a sophisticated security system, the creature told itself before chuckling softly, but not secure enough. With that, the creature took one leap into the air, somersaulting and cartwheeling its way through the energy beams, like a professional circus artist, until it had made it to the far end of the room, and the display case that housed the silver-bladed dagger resting within the prongs protruding from its pedestal. "Time to pluck you from your prison," the creature decided, as it rested its left paw on the glass, scraping its nails against the surface like a glass cutter and cutting a hole within the case. Placing the circle of cut glass gingerly on the floor, the creature reached inside the hole and took the dagger from its resting place, catching it between two of its paw-shaped fingers. Sheathing the dagger near its waist, the creature decided, perfect. Now it's time to head for home. But just as the creature was about to somersault its way back to the window, it was caught off guard when the light suddenly clicked on. The creature gasped as it was revealed by two red-coated guards wearing bullet-shaped helmets and white velvet pants. The guards also cried out in fear and surprise when they had encountered the unusual thief who had broken into their fortress. It was an odd female creature, complete with a medium bust to top off its curved, voluptuous figure. It wore a white strapless leotard that seemed to be assimilated into its anthropomorphic feline body. This creature sported a full bouffant style of cobalt blue hair, a pair of pointy cat ears, and a long white tail. "Holy!" the one guard exclaimed, while the other added, "The Dark Stalker!" Upon being discovered, the cat woman snarled a warning meow as she stood poised and ready to pounce, her eyes changing from human blue to black eyes to black-colored cat's eyes. With a hiss and another snarling meow, she leaped toward the guards and knocked them over in a swift minute, despite her enemies being armed with lances. Alicia, as she called herself, ran on all fours through the dark halls of the Tower of London, hearing various indistinct voices shouting as she frantically searched for an exit. Running into another group of red-coated guards, she exclaimed, "Hello! I say, love, looks like you've run out of life," one guard declared. Alicia snarled and coiled herself, ready to pounce as the guard approached her, with his lance pointed toward her in a warning of, "Don't even think about it, or else!" He had broken off when Alicia screeched and leaped toward him, knocking him down to the floor, and the other two into the wall, and running off toward the entryway behind him. Alicia felt as if she'd been running forever when she suddenly felt the rush of the night air brush against her face. At last, freedom, she told herself as she ran for another entryway. But she had to move fast, as the iron gate was closing rapidly. "Almost there," she told herself as she leaped for the exit. The gate was only a few inches from slamming down shut, and Alicia did the only thing she could. She curled herself into a ball and rolled toward the narrow exit, managing to escape before the gate slammed shut. As Alicia's eyes turned back from cat-like to her normal blue, she chuckled to herself, and as she withdrew the dagger she had stolen and eyed it. "Now I'm one step closer," she thought, before taking one more leap and landing on another nearby rooftop, leaping from building to building and disappearing into the night. So as you can see, this shows one of the past adventures of the Dark Stalker, and just so you know, the Dark Stalker has a human name, and her name is Alicia, and it seems she stole a dagger from the Tower of London. But why? You'll have to read further to find out. Let's continue. Okay, this scene takes place at Alucard Industries with Mitzilena Ziktor talking to one of her sisters, and her sister is going to go undercover as a singer. Let's read. Meanwhile, it was early evening back in Millennia, and at the Alucard Industries building, Mitzilena Ziktor was conversing with Dharma, the girl who sported the maroon-colored spiky bob and a maroon blazer over a white button-down shirt, complete with a maroon skirt and satin pumps. "Now do you know what to do?" Mitzi asked the other girl. "Yes, Miss Ziktor," Dharma replied with a nod. "I am to seek out the Manacle of Nemesis at the grounds of Huntingdon Castle. As a cover, I have signed on as the entertainment portion in the Huntingdon Carnival, under the name Laverna." "Excellent," Mitzi praised. "Now join Sally and R&D because they're leaving at once." "As you wish," Dharma answered. "And remember," Mitzi cautioned, "the Warrior of Water will be undercover as well. So, as soon as you find the manacle, bring it back here. No questions asked." "Understood," Dharma replied with a low bow, and then backed out of the penthouse office that belonged to Mitzi. As Dharma exited the office, Mitzi smiled to herself, thinking about the events that had started her new lease on life. Before her untimely demise at the hands of the girl named Hilaria Winchester and her exile to purgatory in the hopes of reforming, Mitzi, née Henna, was the queen of the underworld and a jilted lover seeking revenge by killing her immortal ex-boyfriend Oliver, who had fallen in love with the long-dead Serena Winchester, the ancestor of the girl who had struck her down with the one weapon that she, Henna, was seeking to use to destroy her boyfriend, the sword Excelsior. However, Henna had refused to reform, and as such was tormented by the voices of those she had killed during her reign as queen of the underworld. She might have been driven insane if not for her sheer will and her discovery of Nitroud's defeat 4 years ago at the hands of her old nemesis, Hilaria, and her family. Nitroud had scoured time, space, and dimension, searching for any soul, any entity who had not yet forsaken him. With luck, he found Henna, who declared she would do anything to escape the torture of purgatory. As such, Nightshroud accepted her offer to escape, provided she procure for him the 7 charms of Armageddon and help him regain his powers, as well as his corporeal form. Henna accepted his offer, and he reincarnated her as Mitzilena Ziktor, the current president of Alucard Industries. Nixie, as she had been nicknamed, was also provided with a duo of lieutenants she considered her sisters. The long puce-haired Sally, who was Mitzi's first lieutenant down below, and the maroon Bob Dharma, who had become Mitzi's vice president and chief advisor in Alucard Industries. And now, as she leaned back in her chair, she decided, meanwhile, I'd better see how the secret project down below is doing. She snapped her fingers, causing the curtains to close suddenly and plunge her office into darkness, leaving her crystal ball, which began to surge and glow with energy, as the only light source in the room. As the glass orb develops, swirls within itself, and lightning flashed inside the room, Mitzi closed her eyes and focused her energies on transforming herself, chanting, "Spirits of darkness, empower me! Restore to me my darkest beauty!" And then she grasped the crystal ball, allowing an energy surge to shoot through her arm and into her chest. In doing so, she underwent another transformation. Mitzi felt her long black hair separate in the middle as a pair of purple headbands tied themselves around her new pigtails. Her sunglasses glowed green and then changed their tint color to purple. Then ribbons of glowing purple wrapped around her chest, arms, waist, and feet, changing her outfit. Within moments, Mitzi was wearing her dark fairy costume, which consisted of a magenta-colored low-cut top shirt that revealed her shoulders and a short skirt of dark violet. She wore large gray leather knee-high boots over purple thigh-high socks, while large purple-tinted gossamer wings protruded from her back. A second later, she disappeared through the floor in a swirl of magic, ending up sitting on the throne in her underworld fortress. As she looked around the empty throne room, she shouted, "Dark warriors, assemble!" She eyed the various corridors hewn out of the wall of hardened volcanic magma, and as she called them by name, they responded. "Decimator!" Mitzi called. "Here, mistress!" a figure in black responded. He was dressed in black samurai attire, complete with broad shoulder blades and a large helmet equipped with a visor that seemed to cover his face. "Wolfsbane!" Mitzi called. "Your Majesty!" Another figure regarded her with a deeper voice. Wolfsbane, a wolfman, stood on 2 legs and possessed human hands, but still had a thin coat of fur as well as the head of a normal wolf. "Toxipod!" Mitzi called. "Yes, sire!" A small snail creature regarded her. This monster was tall and thin, with a visor that seemed to resemble a gas mask, and he sported a large snail shell that protruded from his back. "Goose scale!" Mitzi called. "Here, Majesty!" A giant fishman creature responded. Also standing on 2 legs like Wolfsbane, it was blue in color, and its mouth was open and equipped with huge fangs that dwarfed those of a piranha. "All my dark warriors and evil mutants, awaken for your lady and mistress!" Mitzi declared. Within moments, the throne room was filled up with the mutant entities that made up the Dark Army, and they all cheered in unison, "Long live Mitzi, Queen of the Underworld!" Mitzi raised her hand for silence, and then waved her hand toward the back of the room with the order of, "Lady Sally, report in!" At her command, a hole in the fabric of reality opened, to reveal a young female with lavender-colored hair that tumbled past her shoulders. The new woman wore a blue blazer and matching dress pants, complete with blue satin pumps. "I am here, Your Majesty," Sally responded. "What's the status on Operation Wormhole?" Mitzi asked. "It is ready, my queen," Sally reported. However, it still has a limited reserve of energy. Once activated, it will take a full 72 hours to recalibrate. Excellent, Mitzi praised. Warm it up. I am sending Dharma through that gateway. But my queen, we have not yet tested the teleportation mechanism on living beings, Sally protested. So far it has functioned well on inanimate objects, though. Then let Dharma be the first living test subject, Mitzi declared. I must have the Manacle of Nemesis. Understood. I shall warm up the portal generator at once. A moment later, the scene wall faded from existence, and Mitzi told her minions, soon we shall have the weapon necessary to replace our lost army of shadow wraiths, and then we shall have the world above. With that, the army of monsters cheered and chanted, Mitzi! Long live Mitzi! So as you can see, Queen Mitzi has sent Dharma, her sister, into London, England, in order to procure the Manacle of Nemesis, and it seems she's going to be up against the Warrior of Water, who in this story is Elise Masters. Let's continue. This is when Elise meets Dharma, who has taken the stage name of Laverna. It also shows a current headline of the Dark Stalker from the local newspaper. Let's read. Elise walked through the carnival grounds, milling with the rest of the crowd, but keeping watch for anything she sensed suspicious. Just look at this place, she realized. It's huge! How am I going to find that needle of a manacle in a haystack this big? She stopped to rest by sitting down on a nearby bench and took a deep breath to steady herself. I guess Mom's death hit me harder than I thought, she realized with a sigh. But I can't let that get in the way. I need to look for that manacle some more. Just as Elise was about to get up on her feet again, she suddenly noticed the pages of a leftover newspaper. She recognized them from a magazine called The Wales Prattler. The article she discovered was entitled Dark Stalker, Friend or Fiend. Now what's going on here? She began to peruse the article. 4 or 5 years ago, the Tower of London was burglarized, with only one valuable stolen. Officials on duty have reason to believe that the night vigilante called the Dark Stalker is to be involved. No evidence has confirmed this as of yet, because many believe that the Dark Stalker is an urban legend. The Dark Stalker is believed to be a vigilante with no allegiance, fighting crime one night and committing one the next. What her intentions are remains unclear. The Dark Stalker? Elise realized. Sounds like someone with a serious identity crisis. As she tossed the remains of the magazine into a nearby wastebasket, she decided, better get going. And then she rose from the bench a little too quickly, as she almost bumped heads with another woman, one with maroon-colored hair styled in a spiky bob. That woman stumbled and landed on her bottom with a small grunt of pain. Elise cried out in surprise as she apologized. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Maroon Hair, however, was not so courteous or considerate as she shouted, Why don't you watch the way you're getting up? You threw off my groove! Honest, I didn't know you were there, Elise protested. Are you okay? No, I'm not, Maroon Hair declared hotly. I got twisted around and looking for the concert stage and got myself lost, and now my favorite pair of pants is styled! Listen, I can't do anything about that, Elise protested. I need to go. Maroon Hair was not finished scolding her. Then you shouldn't be so impatient to get up and get where you're going and then just, you know what? Elise injected. What? Maroon Hair asked skeptically and with a raised eyebrow. Normally people would just accept someone's apology and leave, Elise told her. Maroon Hair came back, narrowed her eyes and came back with, Why? Bill, because it's the polite thing to do, Elise replied. Maroon Hair simply groaned, lowered her gaze to her feet, and shook her head in disdain before she heard a voice call out, Laverna, over here! The other woman, who Elise figured was named Laverna, looked over her shoulder and called back, Yeah, I'm coming! Then she glared back at Elise and declared, You got lucky this time, princess. But when we meet again, you got lucky this time, princess. But when we meet again, you're lunch meat. She spat the word princess as she spoke. With that, Laverna stormed off into the crowd, and Elise glared after her with a wrinkled nose, thinking, What a complete and utter materialist! Dharma walked with several others through the milling crowd at the fairgrounds, thinking to herself, That stupid girl! She should not have picked that particular time to get up from her seat. As she spied the stage at the end of the path and followed the men toward it, Dharma, known as Laverna for now, sighed as she glanced at several of the other unknown spectators attending this fair. Look at all these insignificant souls enjoying this stupid place like it'll be here forever. Not one of them, these fools, even knows what will be in store for them. Dharma couldn't imagine why, but she couldn't hold in the growl of the scream rising in her throat as she snarled and declared loudly, Nothing but fools! Upon shrieking, those within earshot suddenly turned to see what was going on, and the man on Dharma's left said, Is something wrong, Laverna? No, Dharma lied in a low voice. Nothing's wrong. Just everything, she told herself in her mind. With that, the man shrugged and resumed silence as he led Dharma toward the stage. So as you can see, Dharma, Mitzi's sister, is in London, England, at the Huntington Carnival, under the guise of entertainment portion of the fair. So that's all the time we have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. Also, if you haven't, please subscribe. Don't forget to support the YouTube community. This is Soseztheleadr signing off. Peace out.